What's going on, repair gang? In today's video we got a simple repair. It should be a real quick video, actually, to be honest. I'm working on this Yamaha here, this Timberwolf, and if you look here at the carburetor, it seems where you unscrew it to empty the bowl, that seems to be leaking, like it's not seating right. So this carburetor is a little dirty anyway, so we're going to take it off. Now, to be honest, for this repair all we're going to need is really a Phillips and a 10mm. So let's get right into it. Phillips is for here to get the air filter intake into the carburetor clamp off, and then the actual intake 10mm right there. So 10mm one here and one on the other side, and then the Phillips, and then that carburetor should come off. We'll unscrew the throttle and clean it up, make it look pretty. Now it's time to take off the actual carburetor. We're going to take the intake off and then slide it down just like that. Now you can take the seat off to make it a little easier, but it's unnecessary. Now from here we have to move our drainage tube that's leaking, put it on the ground so it doesn't leak all over the camera and stuff. And now from here we got to get in here, we got to unscrew the choke, and we got to do the throttle. I'm going to see if I can't do the throttle by hand, and I can. That wasn't on there very tight then. Most of the time you're going to need a pair of pliers or vice grips or something. The throttle will just come out like that. Let it hang. It's not going to hurt nothing. Now we'll grab our needle nose pliers, take off this airflow, and now from here we got to get the choke off. We're going to need a, what size is that going to be? 14, 15, 13, something like that. Let me see, and I'll let you guys know for sure. Okay, so 14mm. Just gonna take it and loosen it to unscrew it, and this is for the choke, and this should come out without a problem. You could just let that hang, it's not gonna hurt nothing. And now we got our carburetor, so let's take it to the table and see what's wrong with it, and give it a clean. Okay, I'm going to give you guys a really good tip here when working on any kind of carburetor that has Phillips screws. If you use a flared tip screw, you're not going to strip. If you use this, you're going to end up stripping all these screws. Use a flare tip, you'll never strip them. At least I haven't since I switched. I think it's because these aren't Phillips or some weird other kind of screw. But if you, this set from Harbor Freight with this flare tip on the hex key works every time. Probably the best tool I've ever bought. Now down here is where we're not seating properly. So I will unscrew that. That's a Phillips or a flathead. See, I can't even unscrew it with that. I'm going to have to use a flathead. That's more of a flathead. But, looking at the rest of this here, it's looking pretty good. We do need to clean it up. So we'll get to dismantling it and throwing it in the ultrasonic cleaner. But I want to figure out our main problem first. So let me get a flathead. Plus, I needed a flathead to get all three of the jets out, which I got most of the carburetor disassembled. Take a good hard look, because I'm not going to show the ultrasonic cleaner, obviously. It's kind of a boring video. So it's looking like that's just worn out, and it's leaking past. I can bypass it, but they won't be able to use this to drain the carburetor bowl anymore. I'm going to see if I have an extra one of these from a different carburetor. So I found a completely different carburetor here. 100% different. But I think that this might be the same. So I'm going to unscrew this, which it does the same thing. I don't see why it wouldn't be the same. Yeah, you could tell the difference. Look how worn one is compared to the other. Let's see if it screws into the body of this. And if it does, I don't know if that's gonna seal it or not. I guess the best way to do it would be put some liquid in there and see, right? Yeah, that didn't work one bit. So back to square one. The correct thing would just be ordering the right part, but we're gonna try to fix it. I will fix it come hell or high water, or I'll just bypass it. So after just taking it out, giving it a clean and cleaning down there, I think maybe there was just something stopping it, because now it's not leaking. Let's see though. If we turn this, we should see water coming out the bottom, because I got water in here, not gas. Now as I tighten it in, it should stop. And now we just got to clean it up and put it back together and put it back on the machine. Now that I got that carburetor done, and the reason it has some stains is because you're supposed to pull it out and give it another cleaning to get it perfectly clean, but I cleaned what I needed to clean and I think it's good to go, to be honest. So we're going to put this back in here now. And of course, we're going to start the same way we left off. We're going to put the choke in. I always like to work the same way I came out. So we'll start by putting the choke on. And once you do a few of these, it gets pretty easy. But if you're working on it for the first time, it's gonna be, this part's gonna be a little tricky, because you gotta slide this in just right in order to get it go in all the way. Because there's little notches in there. But you'll get the hang of it and eventually get it in there. And get it nice and tight. Slap that air tube back on. We could have done it after. Now we can put the intake on. And now get it up into the main intake. When I say intake, I'm talking air intake, which is right there. The one for where the air filter comes into the carburetor. That's the air intake. Now I need to tighten down the clamp first. Okay, let's make sure gas is coming out. It is, perfect. Now we'll put the fuel line back on. Put this fuel clamp back on. Now before I put those bolts back in, I'm gonna fill it up. So far, so good. So far, so good. Oh, well, that's filling up, ladies and gentlemen. You can see too, because it was leaking gas, it morphed the handle. But good thing it's electric start. I mean, I could put a new handle on, but I think we're going to be fine. And now, still seeing that it hasn't leaked. I'll go ahead and turn off the fuel now, just because we're going to start it here in a minute. I'm going to put that back there. Now we're going to put these two bolts back on. And we'll give her a run. I didn't even have to choke it. I do have to edit the idle, so I'll show you how to do that. It's better to do this with another person, but all you do is screw this in here I'll just do it a few screws real quick, more than normal, throttle it, then that should lift it up, drop it down into place, and now we'll see what we're working with. Maybe a